Alright boys and girls, good morning and welcome to today's reading. So our focus, we're now looking at accuracy. So that's about reading the words. So we've been looking lots about comprehension, so understanding what we're reading. But what we're going to try and focus on this week is all about being able to read those words. So today, on some of the pages in my book, which is The Best Story, I'm going to be chunking some letters and sounds together. And I'm even going to introduce you to an animal, Chunky Monkey. That's going to help remind us that we need to chunk some of our letters in our words, and it will help us when we are trying to read and understand what the word is.
So here is Chunky Monkey. So he is here to remind us that we need to look for a chunk or word part that you know. So down the bottom, there are some, so the ing, all, and ick. So during the story today, I'm going to read the story for you. Then at some of the pages, we'll stop and I will pick some of the words and show you how we can chunk the word. The Red Brick Library was having a contest. Write the best story. Win first prize. First prize was a ride on the Super Duper Looper roller coaster with my favourite author, Anne Miles, who wrote The Runaway Roller Coaster. Wow! First prizes don't get any better than that. All right, boys and girls, so on this page I have, there's my finger, this word here that I've just read. So what we can do is, if we're not sure what it is, we can chunk up the word. So got some paddle pop sticks here, and if I cover part of the word, or on the other side, I can break it up. So that word is on. We know that word, on. Now I'm going to move this across and take this away. I have another word which is test. So on test, the word is contest. So by chunking up the word, I was able to figure it out. All right, another word on the page that could have been a little bit tricky is this word here, okay? So the WR is making that sound together, okay? So no, that's I, t, right. I ran home, went to my room, shut the door. I sharpened 5 pencils, opened my notebook to a brand new page, and thought, and thought, and thought. And all I could think of was this writing stuff was hard and lonely. Maybe I needed help. I told my brother Tim about the contest. The best stories, said my brother Tim, have lots of action. All right, so on this page I've just read this word. Here we could chunk it up, so use our Chunky Monkey to break up the word. So we know SH, when it's together, makes that sh sound. So we use my paddle pop stick again. I'm even going to do it like this. So we have sh, then up, sharp. So no sharp, and it's got an ending on it, which is sharpened. So sharpened. The word's sharpened. All right, and another word on this page, which I'm going to show how we can chunk it up, is this word. All right, so because looking at the end of this word, I'm going to cover it up. I have seen this word before. Book. I know book. So if I put this away, it's something book. So that's where you could sound at the beginning. Oat, note, note, book, notebook. So I wrote a lot of action into my story. I wrote about a bus hurtling down the highway with no one at the wheel. I added a tornado and a pirate and a great white shark. But the story didn't seem quite right. All right, now on this page we've just read, there might be some words. Let's try and chunk this word here, okay? There is a common ending we see, ing, so that ing sound at the end. So I know it's at the end, but if I look at the beginning, using my paddle pop stick, if I cover it up, hurt, ing, hurtling. And another word on this page we are going to chunk is this one here. So if I cover up the beginning, you can see the word way. All right, I'm going to move the paddle pop stick. Now, some of these letters here are making a bit of different sounds. So it's the h, then I, high, way, highway. So I asked my dad, and he said the best stories have plenty of humour. So I changed the great white shark to a monkey, and I put the monkey at the wheel of the bus, and I turned the tornado into turnips, and I dressed the pirate in polka-dotted pyjamas. Dad laughed so hard he popped a shirt button. Even so, this story didn't feel quite right either. Along came Aunt Jane. "What are you doing?" she asked. "I'm writing a story, the best story, for a contest at the library. I can win a roller coaster ride with my favourite author." "Oh, well then," said Aunt Jane. Here's all you need to know. The best stories are the ones that make people cry." So I gave the bus a flat tire. I sent the monkey to the funeral of his pet goldfish. I turned the turnips into onions, and I made the pirate chop every one. There were lots of tears, but the story still wasn't right. Okay, boys and girls, let's try and chunk up a word on this page. This one here. So I'm going to use my paddle pop stick. So if you have one at home, you can do the same. Cover up the first part. Seen that word before. It's turn. So turn, ips, turnips. So turnips are on this page here. So I could have also used my pictures to help me. They're a type of vegetable. My teenage cousin Anika said, "I have news for you. If it's not romantic, it's a loser." So the pirate introduced the monkey to his sister Grace, and they fell in love. And I turned the onions into wedding invitations, and everyone lived happily ever after. Finally, my story was ready, so I read it to my family. "Enough action," said my brother Tim. "Maybe the monkey can fall into the wedding cake," said Dad. "That would be really funny." "It's hard to cry at a wedding when the groom is a monkey," said Aunt Jane. Annika said it would be perfect if I added a kiss. And all this time, my mother hadn't said a word. So I asked her, "What do you think is the best story?" She gave me a hug. I think the best story is one that comes from the heart, your own heart. That night after supper, I looked into my own heart and rewrote my story. No more monkey, no more pirate, no more wedding invitations, no more happily ever after. My new best story is about my family and my two best friends, Tara and Josh. It's about my cat Ollie, who sleeps on his back, and snow days and toast with strawberry jam. It's about fireworks and rainbows and bike rides. My biggest problem was keeping the story short. Once I started pulling things out of my heart, it was hard to stop. When my story was finished, I turned it in to the judges. All right, our last words for today's book that we're going to try our new strategy, chunking. We will try this word here. All right, so if we cover this up, I have the word big. All right, and there is another G next to it, which is still part of that sound. So biggest, biggest. And next to it, or actually further on the page, here we are, this word. We're going to try, we have that ing, the I, then ng sound there at the end, ing. So, seen this word before. If I cover it up, pull, ing, pulling. Maybe I'll win that roller coaster ride with Anne Miles, and maybe I won't. Either way, I'll be happy, I'll be a winner, because the story I wrote is my own, not somebody else's, and that makes it the best. All right, boys and girls, so we have just finished reading our story, The Best Story. So I hope you enjoyed our story for today, because this book is actually a good one to help us with our writing, because we're about to get into narrative writing as well. So I hope we picked this one especially for today to help you start thinking about how you can also write stories just like the girl in the book. So remembering, I did this strategy chunking some of the words. So when I got to some of those big words in the story, I would chunk, so kind of break it down into smaller parts, then put it together. So today, I want you to try and find a story, maybe on Sunshine Online or a book you have at home, and you can try the strategy and then send a photo or record yourself talking and telling us how you did chunking. Enjoy!